Hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer Stone. I am Multimodal Holistics. I am in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I am a level 2 QHHT practitioner. That is Quantum Healing Hypnosis technique. I have been doing QHHT sessions since 2020. One thing I really loved about the way that I learned QHHT was I did the training during COVID, and instead of the offerings being somewhere that was far from me to travel at the time, I got to do them by watching videos of Dolores teaching live classes. And so I really love that I still got to learn it from Dolores. It was really special feeling her energy and learning it from exactly her words. So that is how I came to do QHHT. It's my favorite modality of all the ones that I practice. And I have been recently connecting with lots of other QHHT practitioners around the world, and that's been really special. And one of them had a video that he sent me that he had recorded of him just telling his potential clients all the things that I tell my clients that are getting ready to book a session with me. So I thought I would do the same thing, that I would record a video and kind of talk about what to expect for a QHHT session. So that's what we're here for today. A QHHT session is an opportunity to kind of immerse back into the remembrance that you are, and you as the client get to view things that you have done in other incarnations. And as we travel through and you kind of settle deeper into that theta state, then we have access to ask your higher self questions. And so that is one of the most impactful parts of the session. So how do you prepare for a QHHT session? QHHT is not a clinical hypnosis. It is a deep guided meditation. And so I always tell people, like, I book people usually a month out, and I really want them to practice, 10 to 15 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be hours, right? 10 to 15 minutes a day of guided meditations. And the reason for that is it helps you, we live such busy lives and we're so overstimulated with phones and TV and chasing kids and making dinner and doing all the human things that we really forget how to let our minds slow down. And so that daily guided meditation just kind of retrains your brain to slow down and kind of settle into a theta state and not think about all of the monkey mind stuff that goes on for us, because we have so many things floating around in our head all the time. Also, QHHT is a very visual experience, and a lot of people, don't practice a lot of self-visualizations, and so guided meditation really helps you feel confident in visualizing things and creating some of those images in your head. So, at least a couple weeks before your session, daily guided meditation. Just learn to relax, learn to breathe, enjoy the ride. It's a beautiful way to change your life if you do that every day, even after the session. You want to get a good night's sleep. You want to come in rested. Caffeine, you want to really limit caffeine the morning of your session. 1 cup of coffee to make sure you don't get a caffeine headache is absolutely fine, but we don't want to have a whole bunch of coffee or like a Red Bull. You want to be able to sit in stillness. We don't do any kind of mind-altering substances because it can be very overwhelming to layer those in. So just prescription meds, if you have them, are fine, but anything outside of that, you can save that for when you get home after the session. QHHT sessions run about 4 to 6 hours. They are long, but that's because we cover a lot of ground in that 4 to 6 hours. So we start by what we call an interview, and that interview is really you telling me your life story. Tell me everything from the very beginning. There's a lot of healing potential just in that, to have like a really sacred neutral witness to all the things that have happened to you, the things that hurt you, that still linger in your field, the things that maybe you wish you hadn't done that you still feel kind of guilty about or ashamed of. It's really healing to be able to like let those out and not have any judgment about them. I don't judge anybody for anything that they've done. We've all done stuff. Sometimes we really need somebody to hear our story. Also, the more you talk, the more you're cueing your higher self for the things that you need to see. So, the major relationships that you've had in your life, family members, the places that you've lived, how you came along to your awakening, what your spiritual beliefs are, where you want to go with things, what's important to you. You just get to talk about absolutely everything. So we do the interview. And another part of that too is it can feel really vulnerable laying on a table and being guided into a theta state, into a very deep meditation. And with you not knowing me, it's hard to feel comfortable in that trust right off the bat, right? And so getting to spend some hours just being in each other's energy and being relaxed really will help you as the traveler in this situation feel very safe and comfortable in my care. We always take bathroom breaks, so no worry about that. When you do get on the table, it is a massage table. It's got a mattress warmer on it if it's cold, soft sheets, nice fluffy blanket. I like to keep a really lightweight blanket because it feels like you are just snuggled into a cloud. And I sit next to you, and when we start the actual hypnosis part, I do put a voice recorder next to the pillow so that the hypnosis part of the session is recorded for you. That recording I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But the induction is a series of images that I ask you to see. A green tree, a yellow flower, a blue car, things like that. And that's activating the dreaming part of the mind so that it's activating that part of the brain that we're going to use to travel. And then as we settle in, I'm watching your breathing rhythm, the movement of your eyes as we go through the induction. And then I take you into your first past life. I usually only do about 3 past lives per session because I find that if I do more than that, people tend to get a headache. But in the process of that, I'm helping to guide you, and I'm asking questions, and I'm moving you to different scenes, and you just talk as much. You tell me as much as you see so that I can ask really good questions, and also so that you have all that information on the recording. Because when you're in that state of being, you're very present. It's not like you're checked out. You know exactly what you're doing. Can't make you quack like a duck or anything. But it leaves you really fast. Like on the drive home, you'll forget half of the things that you saw. So the recording is really helpful. Also, we see things today with the level of awareness that we're at today. And in 6 months, when we've created all this additional expansion and understanding and knowingness within ourselves, then we can revisit it with a new level of awareness and get something completely different out of it. And then we can use that to find the next layer for us to work through. And so, you'll want to re-listen to that recording in a couple weeks, in a couple months, in 6 months, in a year, and you're going to be amazed at how you look at things differently and what else you get out of it. So as we go through the past lives, after we get kind of through maybe the third one, depending on how fast people go, sometimes I do more, sometimes we do less. We're not in hypnosis any more than 2 hours. But when I know that you're in a deep state, I will ask to speak to your higher self, and that is where I will ask your questions. So the questions are questions that you bring to a session. I usually tell people to bring up to 5 questions to get started because some people will bring 40 and that's too much. And we can always add to them as we're going through the interview. So you bring to the session questions, and as we get kind of done with the interview, then I'll go over your questions and I'll rewrite them in my own words so that my flow is easy, and so that I can, we can add to them based on what we've talked about during the interview. And then, once I've asked for permission to speak to the higher self, I ask your questions, and sometimes I expand on them a little bit depending on what comes up, because amazing things come up, and sometimes things are a lot different than we expected them to be. And so after we speak to the higher self and I ask for it to recede back to where it belongs, then I count you out, and then we get to talk about, before I stop the recording, I always ask if there's anything that you saw during the session that you didn't get to say, to make sure that it gets on the recording. And then we just kind of debrief, because it takes a minute to come back into this realm and feel grounded back in your body. And every experience is different than what people come in with. So we tell everybody, try not to come with expectations. Just let it be whatever wants to show up. We don't have to take anything seriously. This isn't a do or die situation. This is exploration, right? This is consciousness exploration. And so let's have fun with it, and let's play, and let's see where spirit will take us today. And so we always do a debrief and talk about what was really amazing and what maybe you still have lingering questions about, because there's always a way to find out more answers. And then I usually will have people just kind of sit and drink some water and stuff like that, make sure they're really grounded in their body before they leave. And then the recording I will send to you so that you can download it. Every experience is very differently. If you come to me multiple times, every time that you come will be very, very, very different. But each time I hope people leave with a sense of wonder. I love when people really get to see their higher self, and you can just see how amazing it is to see yourself in that form, because we are so much more than just the human body that we are. And the human body that we are is amazing in itself. If you think about the technology about how our bodies heal, it's amazing. Also during the hypnosis part, when I'm talking to the higher self, if I get the nudge to, or if you ask me to ask for a body scan and ask for specific healing, then I would do that as well, because we need to remember that the physical body has 100% the ability to heal itself. We just really haven't fully come to understand that technology. And so when the higher self is really embodied, then it can assist with that process, because the higher self does know how to activate the healing capacity of the body. So post-session, I'm always available for questions. I really want to make sure that people feel supported through the whole process, and it's just an honor to be trusted by people to take them on that journey, that I want to make sure that they feel just as confident as they leave the journey and they go back out into the world to do whatever is next. So some of the questions. A lot of people don't know where to start with questions. They can be absolutely anything. Almost everybody asks, what's my purpose? When they have really tight relationships with people, or they have had more challenging relationships with people, they might ask, like, what's the contract with this person? What's the purpose of that relationship? What is it that I'm supposed to learn from it? A lot of people want to ask where they came from. In the last year, I have had more clients go off-world for some of their past lives than ever. In fact, almost everybody that comes on my table lately goes off-world, and that's kind of amazing to get to hear about what these other worlds look like and what the beings on them look like. So where did I come from? Where do I want to go from here? What are the options for me? Which, we all know the truth is that, like, we have unlimited options, but sometimes we need to hear that from a higher version of ourselves to believe it, to move forward. I really like to understand what is right in front of me that I'm not seeing. What am I not realizing that if I would just see it, that I would be able to move into my next level? But again, it can be absolutely anything. You can ask me about your dog when you were 3 years old. There are no limitations, only the limitations that we put on ourselves. So there is a hopefully abbreviated explanation of what a QHHT session is, how to prepare for it, and what to expect when you come. A lot of people worry about having to go to the bathroom. We always go to the bathroom before we get started with hypnosis. And once you're under, if you have to pee, then you just tell me, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. You get up, you go to the bathroom, you come in, we drop right back in. So there's absolutely nothing hard about this process, only what we make hard ourselves. So come confident and relaxed. Everybody has that voice in the back of their head that says, I can't do this, I'm making it up, this doesn't make any sense. Dolores called that voice Mr. Stupid, and I love how she kind of took the power away from it, but that's the ego. And the ego has a very important place in our existence here, but during a session is not its place. So I always say that when Mr. Stupid shows up, we thank him, we open the closet door, we tell him to go wait in there for a minute, and we'll let him out when we're done, because he has a place in the world, but not now. And a lot of people, well, what if I'm making it up? Well, what if you are making it up? That's kind of what the imagination is. The imagination is tapped into the dreaming body. And so we aren't setting law by what we find in that day. We're just trying to understand ourselves better and explore better. So if it comes from within you in any way, shape, or form, then it's useful information. And so, take the worry off of that. That really doesn't matter if you're making it up. The truth is that all of us that have navigated our way through our awakening and turned on some of our intuitive gifts, that we all have to go through what we call imposter syndrome, which is that I'm making it up. And then you have to come to peace with, if it comes from a place of love and it is something that helps you, it is the most perfect information you can find. So again, my name is Jennifer Stone. You can find me on Facebook and on Google, and this is going to go on YouTube. And if you are in the Knoxville area and you're interested, then reach out to me, and we will book you a session. Also, QHHT sessions are only done in person. And while I am certified for a version that you can do online, I can promise you that the energy is not the same. And so I really do encourage people to do an in-person session. For me personally, the energy is completely different. And it's really important for me to be able to watch, like your fingertips. A lot of people, their fingertips will twitch. When I'm under hypnosis, I read data with my fingertips unconsciously. And I find it fascinating because I can feel myself do it, but I don't know what it is. So I just kind of allow that to happen. I'm watching your breathing. I'm looking to see if your legs are twitching, and that's not really possible to do in full online. So, I really encourage people to do things in session. And if you find this video and you're interested and you're not in the Knoxville area, you can still reach out to me and I can help you find a practitioner near you, because our website for QHHT does help you locate practitioners in your local area. So if this is something that interests you and you want to explore further, then please reach out to me. It is such a beautiful gift that we are able to explore in the way that we are, and how Spirit sends us to each other to connect with each other and learn from each other and share energy. So whether or not you end up on my table, I still appreciate the gift of connecting. So thank you for watching this, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.